DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from Studio A.
Oh.
Where the A stands for, are you serious?
Oh,
Are you
That's
serious,
pretty good.
bro?
Yeah, that's
We
pretty
brought
good.
it back.
That's pretty good.
You don't know why yet, though.
Oh,
No, but I
So-
mean,
do
I
you
liked
know?
it. Oh, I have no idea.
So-
It was a good one.
All I can say is Ryan's had a smirk since he got in the office today.
Oh,
So
really?
here at DNVR,
About 90 seconds ago. I was only like 60
Oh,
seconds ago.
it was before you were.
yeah, I know.
I was staying there.
Delay a game on Hank today.
I was
Yep.
watching him get out of his car. I'm just staying there waiting for the light to change, and he's like has time to walk all the way in there.
Damn, I
and
beat you
all
by
the
like
way-
3
I
minutes.
know the light just wouldn't go because I got there right when it ended. So I was like, it's the end of a cycle, and I just
Wait
knew what I
for
was
the
in
whole
for.
cycle. Okay,
Damn.
so here at DNVR, we're all about community, wouldn't you say, Zach?
Yeah, absolutely.
We love the people that support our shows.
Yeah.
And I would say one of the best sub communities we have is the Madden League.
Yeah.
The Madden League is incredible. You guys hear us talk about it just because how much fun it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Really
and
tight knit group.
It's such a tight knit group with such a great, aura around it that it even has its own podcast.
Yes.
There's a podcast in the Madden League about the Madden League.
Yes.
And one of the really cool things that they do on that show, I listen to it almost every time, is they call it the League Member Spotlight. It's a cool way to kind of highlight players in the league and this, that, and the other thing. And Henry was actually the most recent one. Yeah, can you roll the clip?
Let's hear this awful LMS.
I know, dude. Yeah. So that was the teaser. We'll get to the tiers, but you guys got to hear this. So I send it out. I go, my man, you have been selected for the League Member Spotlight. Like, answer these questions whenever you can. Like I've said, I've gotten from RK Timmy lately, where it's just like I show it to Cynthia. I'm just like, look at this shit, and they're just like scrolling for days. It's like, yeah, it's League Member Spotlight. They're blowing me up. They're sending me all the information.
Yeah.
This is a time where you can kind of have your voice right into the pod. Like you got some shit to say it through the League Member Spotlight. But this one was from Hank. Hank was up for the League Member Spotlight, and let me just put this in the camera so you guys can see questions. Look at those.
Oh, the
answers.
question is longer than the answer. That's
Exactly, dude.
That's awesome. No.
So I mean, I ask him, age, where you live, what you do for work, favorite Madden or DNVR memory, favorite Madden player, fun fact, anything else. You know the drill.
Yeah.
And he sends me this, and I hit him back with, "You're a writer, and this is the best you got." And he still hasn't even opened that message. So I was a believer in the Steelers for about 8 hours this season. I could not be more out on them. But here are the answers from Hank.
Okay.
Jeez, man.
I mean, no.
Are you serious?
I didn't.
Are you
The question
serious?
is age and then a colon. So the answer 26. Like I'm not gonna say like, oh, I'm 26. I was born in 1997.
Okay, yeah, that one is fine.
Where you live? Here in
Yep.
Denver. And so what I write? Denver.
Yep.
And so then, what do you do for work? Again,
Okay.
obvious one.
Self-explanatory, yep.
Favorite DNVR memory? My 15-2 season.
Okay, like you could expand a little bit there.
Well, I didn't
Why
know-
is that your favorite memory? Technically not even a memory, it's a whole season.
I struggle with like
You
favorite
could have
Madden
been like,
player.
this was the year that it all came together for me. Like, I really leaned on my running game.
Yeah.
It was fun. I had a
I
big
didn't
win
know that
over
that's how it
RK in the
works.
playoffs.
If I ever had a 15-2 season, you bet your ass I'd be expounding on it.
Wow. Well, I will say, back when I was really good, which was the 15-2 season, I listened to the Madden podcast every week. I've dipped in my listenership recently because I know that there's nothing nice to say about me and I only like hearing good things about me. And so I didn't really realize that there could be like full paragraphs and all that sort of stuff that would be going on. Fun fact,
Fun fact. Read what your fun fact is.
I'm 5'9".
What?
People think I'm tall.
Did you think it was foot fact or something? And you're like,
No.
oh, this must be height.
No, I'm 5'9". It's a fun fact about
That
me.
may be the worst fun fact I've ever heard in my life.
It's a good
I
fun
mean,
fact.
there couldn't be anything less fun.
Like, you could have, what would have made it a little bit more fun and still not fun at all was saying, I'm taller than Zach. I'm an
I could've
inch
been-
taller than Zach.
Well, I haven't measured you.
Well, I'm 5'8".
I'm not gonna get into numbers.
I thought you
really.
would know.
Wow.
Yeah, if
I'm
that's
an
your
inch.
fun fact, wouldn't you think he would know everyone's height?
I'm about half
he
inch
thinks that's
shorter
a fun
than RK.
fact.
I am into heights though. I mean, height came up a lot on the tailgate show. I mean, it tells a lot about a person how tall they are.
You do question Ryan's height.
Yeah, he's lying about it.
Yeah.
He's not 6 feet tall.
We'll get to me in a little bit.
We'll measure you.
So keep going. What else were your answers? Fun fact: he's 5'9".
Those are all the questions. Favorite Madden player?
As Levon said on the podcast, if being 5'9" is the most fun fact about you, I feel bad for your girlfriend.
It's wow. I mean, I get. I'm not like the. I don't have any more fun facts about me.
Fun fact:
No way.
I've encountered a bear on a trail
Bro,
in
I
Montana.
talk about bears every time.
Yeah,
People know
yeah.
that about me.
I would know your height more than I would know how many times you've seen a
I mean,
bear.
you could guess my height. I mean, but I don't count the bears.
Fun fact:
My
I
mom
named my
does.
dog Tebow after Tim Tebow.
That's a good one.
Okay, I
That's
don't know.
especially for this community, knowing it's a Broncos-centric community.
Again, that's come up repeatedly in the podcast.
Henry,
no, that's
people look at you every single day. They kind of have an idea of your height.
Yeah, you're
I'm
right
sitting.
next to Zach.
I'm sitting and I slouch when I sit.
You are wearing some cool Nuggets apparel. I feel like there could be a fun fact in there somehow.
Yeah.
Like I got my first Nuggets jersey after
I don't
X
remember that.
happened.
I went to my first Broncos game.
Yeah.
XYZ.
And what
I
was
talked
really
about that
cool
on the
was I actually
podcast.
had
I've
to
tweeted
fly
about that.
from Montana to go to it. I traveled
Yeah.
far.
Yeah, and Mark Kisler wrote about it in the Denver Post,
That's a great fun fact.
which is
That's
something
actually
that
a
I've
great
tweeted,
fun fact.
something that came up on the podcast.
My favorite DNVR or Madden memory was 5 paragraphs long.
Wow. How do you remember those details? Like
wanna
what's
hear
my
it?
favorite player was Justin Jefferson. It's like, I don't remember a single play he made. I remember I ran a bunch of posts. I can't remember if he was on my Browns team or my Patriots team. Like, I just know he was awesome.
Patriots, I think.
Maybe your fun fact is you have bad memory.
I do. It's the concussions.
Oh,
I used to
well,
get
I didn't
treatment
mean
for
to
those,
get,
but
in depth about this.
they
I'm
couldn't fix
sorry.
it.
Didn't
Yeah.
mean to be dark.
It is what it is.
Wow. I actually thought you had a pretty good
No,
memory.
there's
I've
like-
never questioned your memory before.
I'm good at hiding it at this
Yeah,
point.
I'd say so.
Yeah. I can't really smell.
Fun.
good one.
That's fun.
Yeah. really fun.
Yeah, that is because I broke my nose a couple times. There's something about how
Wow.
it. Yeah. But then you know what the freaking surgeons say? They say no, that's cosmetic. They'll be like, yeah, you can't smell, but it'd be cosmetic to make your nose straight. And it's like, well, no, I want to smell. Like that's all I want. Like if I come to you and say I want to smell, they say no, you'll look better. So you have to pay to look good. The insurance
Wow.
won't cover it.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn,
So
they're
my
doing you dirty.
so now I'm not getting a cosmetic surgery.
Not smelling is also part of concussions because I can't smell either, but that's
Wait.
because I had 3
Wow.
concussions
could've
in a
been
row.
it.
Keep
no
going through
idea.
your answers.
He's tried to cut it off many times.
Yeah.
now.
So the last one. Anything else? Nope.
What'd you say?
Nope. Well, I mean, I don't have anything else to say. I don't have anything else. I'm like,
Wait, did you actually respond? Nope.
Yes.
yeah, that was my answer. I was like, nope.
At least
The
leave a
rudest
blank,
way
and
to-
then you can
I don't
have
know.
like, oh, I totally missed that
The
one.
rudest way to say no.
I didn't know that there was that much. I don't know.
You want to hear my anything else? This league is one of my favorite things to come out of starting this company. I can't wait for the day we finally do a meetup. Love you guys.
I'm not sending freaking love letters.
Wow, that's deep, man.
I'm there to kick ass.
That's deep. Well, and
Well, you're not doing either.
that.
And that's
Yeah.
that's why I haven't been doing the podcast because it hurts me when I'm not doing well and I don't want to hear them say that I'm bad. And which it would be the right thing to say because I've been bad. I was an every week listener. My girlfriend actually did not love it how much that we listened to the podcast before.
Yeah,
You've changed, Tank. You've changed.
I'll
I have
play
changed. I've gotten
Madden
worse.
like practice mode while I listen to the pod.
It's a good little pregame
Yep,
for the
exactly.
game
I've been
itself.
grinding. I had an 8-game online winning streak going, and I blew it last night.
Wow.
I almost came back from down 14, but
I can't play with a team other than my team. It
I just
messes me
need the
up.
reps. I just need to go.
I'm like Peyton Manning. Like I can only throw to my receivers. I don't want to mess up my timing.
Speaking of Peyton, have you seen how big of a deal the Broncos are trying to make their schedule release thing? I guess it's because that's all they have. Sean won't give him anything else.
Yeah.
But have you seen the thing? They tweeted one 15 minutes ago.
Oh no, I haven't
It's the Bourne Ultimatum with Matt Damon. Yeah, Matt Damon. Yeah.
Sure.
Now they put Peyton on, and it's like the Manning ultimatum, and they're just really trying to make this trilogy thing a thing.
I mean, they don't have anything else to do. They're not allowed to do anything.
Really,
like
They're
it's
just
really true.
tapping
they have
into the Peyton
they have
Manning
one
world.
thing they're allowed to do, so why not
There's-
just like roll with it?
One thing I would bet heavy on is there's a Peyton, and Peyton reference in here
Oh,
somewhere.
especially being the trilogy of
Yeah.
Peyton. Yeah.
Well, and then because in
Great
like the
point.
teaser, Peyton said, it's a lazy. Like just get one of the other Peytons to do it.
Yeah.
So they've
right,
probably
all right.
set that's
and
the setup
and
for it.
also Sean Payton, while he doesn't like to talk to the media often, he does like doing things. We saw him do the Gronk thing on Fox right before.
Yep.
He likes being involved.
That's true. Also, shout out Linda Clark, best commenter in the chat every single time.
Linda
Absolutely,
Clark.
Linda.
Just
We
Linda
love you.
Clark.
Yeah,
Let's
and
go.
then
Best
Cody
comment every
even saying she's the GOAT.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, hard to dispute.
Very true. What a good bit.
One more bit of housekeeping.
Oh.
Yesterday on this show, I sat here and I guaranteed I would bowl better than a
boy.
125 at bowling last night. And wow, not only did I meet my guarantee, but I absolutely obliterated it. 148, led the team. We got the dub. Just a huge day for me.
Who'd you play?
What was their name? Something like the Gutter Ballers or something.
Well, I
Gutterly
mean,
ridiculous.
Ah.
And
So, I mean-
honestly, we beat them by almost 200 pins. So
when they,
they were kind of
when they
ridiculous.
embrace the gutter, that kind of means they're bad, right?
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really interested in team success. I'm just interested in
Oh,
personal
okay,
success.
Ah,
fair.
we love
Yeah,
that.
Yeah.
So like you should definitely be using like a strike pun though. You know,
Right.
strike them out. You know, something
That's
like
a
that.
good one.
It's not
Yeah.
even.
I was thinking, like, like alley cats.
Yeah.
I was thinking we should just be alley dogs.
Oh, I prefer the cat part.
Yeah,
but
I'd go. team
Well, you
cat.
guys don't play, so.
That is
yeah, well, yeah. I did sign up for an account though.
Oh, let's
One
go.
step
Welcome to
further
the
than Henry.
fucking party.
Yeah.
It felt good, man. Got there early.
Yeah, had a warm
It was
up
kind of
round.
like going to the
Oh.
driving range. Never thought of bowling that way. But like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm releasing the ball a little too high. I just need to get a little
wow.
lower. Boom.
There
Right
you
back.
go.
Sometimes
there you
it's
go.
fun when it goes up a little bit and it makes like the boom right when it hits the ground.
Yeah.
You always wonder if that could like crack the.
Always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Henry's probably throwing like a 6-pound ball, so it's not gonna do much damage.
Oh, if I was throwing a 6-pound ball, that thing wouldn't touch the ground. Only pins.
I wish I could.
Nothing but pin.
I wish I could find
like
a
a pitcher.
6-pound ball.
yeah.
You drop kick it.
yeah.
All right, so that was fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Shout out to the squad. Also,
Yeah.
shout out to DNVR member and legend Ray. He is in the bowling league as well on a
Yes.
different team. The smoothest bowling stroke I've ever seen, and that includes professional bowlers.
You've seen
Wow.
professional bowlers.
Even the dude
watched
that
the
has
PBA.
like
Do you?
that. Even the guy that has the viral.
That's
little
the one
clip.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
not.
That's yeah.
Who do you think
Who do you think you are? I am. There we go.
What does
guy.
that mean? Was that I am him before I am him?
That is
Basically.
that totally is. You're not him. I am. It's like also like you're not that guy before you're not that guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of a mix of like some of the greatest trash talk.
everything.
all put
yeah,
together in
yeah.
one.
He just got confused. He was excited.
Yeah, dude, he is. It's just fun to watch.
You probably
Bowling?
are the only person that's
Oh.
ever said that.
No, I don't think so.
Isn't that on ESPN the same time football is on?
Oh,
on
I'm not talking about
Sundays?
watching professional bowling. I'm talking
Oh.
about watching Ray bowl.
Oh,
I can't speak to that.
Okay, fair,
Yeah.
fair. So
Enrique,
you guys,
another one who has a great bowling stroke.
so you guys have talked about pins. Mm-hmm. What about pins and aces?
Oh.
You also have talked about Ray. What about Shady Rays?
Oh.
How about it?
That was
And let's give
maybe
don't-
best in history.
Oh no,
Thank
we
you.
did mention Peyton Manning, so there was a Broncos tie-in in that first segment.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah,
I was
we-
like, wow,
we-
we're
we did
calling
talk-
that a segment. All right. Congratulations, everyone.
Pins and
You're
aces.
welcome.
I don't think you can see it, but just over Ryan's shoulder, there are 3. Well, actually, there's a lot of awesome pins and aces stuff. Actually, I just realized what one of them is. It's the little shot
yeah.
dispenser.
That is called a liquor stick.
A liquor stick. So they, of course, sell the like koozies that hold 7 beers, or you can get one for seltzers with the thinner can. But then they also have a liquor stick, which has a little hose out the top that you can just squirt liquor out of.
Yep.
So that's great, and it can
Or
stick.
water.
Yeah, or water. Yeah, and it can be in your golf
not
bag.
a water stick.
In your golf club. Or your golf bag.
Golf
Yeah.
bag, yeah.
But then for your golf clubs, You need the heads
Yep,
to protect
head
them.
covers.
Covers, thank you. We've got a sweet Colorado one.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I would actually go for, personally. Ryan would go for the Buffs one.
Yep.
It's very cool. And then there's also a CSU Rams one. So we got all the bases covered
There it
there.
is. I actually so I got the Buffs one already in the bag.
Of course, yeah.
You
You used it last week, I saw.
since we placed in the tournament, we got a Pins and Aces gift card. So I got 2 new head covers. I'm really trying to. I was thinking like my bag needs a lot of colors,
Okay.
just because like I don't know, something about just like looking at bright colors in the summer feels like it just helps the vibes
Yeah.
of my bag. So I
Yeah.
got like one. You guys wouldn't understand that one, but then I got this other one that it's
Went
called like
right over my head.
Dancing Flamingos, and it has like flamingos and palm trees on it. I'm like, this is what I want to look at right before I hit a golf shot.
We'll go with it. Did you know that there's like a flamingo party at the zoo? It's like in September. It's like one of those like all you can eat, all you can drink things. All the zookeepers like come out.
Is it
and
all you
there's
can
like
eat krill?
no, it's like food. But then it's like $150 or something. But it's like
flamingos.
but they'll do like
Paying
all
for the flamingos to
shrimp.
ink
all the
and
flamingos
drink.
like walk this path and like people say, but then like the entire zoo's open and like all the keepers are like, yeah, look at this crazy, or they're like pull the animals out and stuff. You just
Wow.
brought flamingos and I've been thinking a lot about
Did you
that.
get an email about this from the zoo?
No,
Get
I'm
your
about to
VIP
re-up my zoo
ticket.
pass, so I was trying to see like if there's a discount or something for members.
Anyways, if you want any of these cool things over at Pins and Aces, use that code DNVR. It's going to get you 15% off and free shipping. Pins and Aces, not just all of those things, but also the best apparel for when you're on the golf course.
Hell yeah.
Also, get some Shady Rays. I've got mine.
Boom.
They're right here. Usually I leave them in the car. Sometimes I forget.
Put them on for the read.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if
You
I'll
know
be
when you
able to-
need those?
No,
In
sometimes with the
September
polarization,
at
you can't watch.
Zoo,
Oh.
Flamingo party.
Wow.
Sun
I don't
hits
know.
those
That'd be
pink
pretty cool
flamingos.
there.
It's pretty bright.
Yeah,
It does. It is. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, wore the sunglasses because it's sunny. It's like 80 degrees. Actually, my phone said that it was drizzling. That's not true.
Nope.
So I'm lucky that I actually did bring them with today. Because it's so sunny. They're great sunglasses that I haven't lost because I could never, because I love them so much. But if you were to buy them and then lose them or break them, then you will get a free pair of replacements with no questions asked. Also, you can just send them back if you don't like them and want a different pair, refund or whatever in the first 30 days. Again, all for free. They're great sunglasses. They've got 5-star reviews from 250,000 people. And if you use the code DNVR at Shady Rays, you can get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Weird thing about the polarized sunglasses is that like half the like, if I try to look at my TV at home in them, it'll just be like, bzzz, you know, all weird like that. Computer's doing just fine. That monitor's doing just fine.
Must have something to do with the retina display.
The polarization. Could be the. Yeah,
maybe it's
like,
a polarized TV
Oh.
and polarized on polarized.
maybe.
Is it an outdoor TV?
No, it's meant for the indoors.
Do you think it would be a good slogan for them if they said, Shady Rays, be polarized, not polarizing?
Oh,
Or just be polarizing.
Well,
Be
I don't think
polarizing.
polarizing's
Positive.
typically a positive. Yeah.
I don't know. People have an opinion about you. I mean, if you want like big flashy sunglasses, like
I would say
mean,
you're polarizing. So
yeah,
you
yeah.
got
Exactly.
What you want.
Yeah.
Stephen
Yes.
A. Smith is polarizing.
Yep.
Some
Biggest-
people view that as a good thing. Some people view it as a bad thing.
Biggest star on Radio Row. Still crazy to this
Oh my god! And
I
you're
mean,
not
half
talking,
of them were just his own people.
day. Yeah.
but you're not even talking about like just the biggest TV personality or something.
No.
Anyone there?
He had like 100 people following him.
It was insane. Like Coach Prime was there,
Yeah,
and
Coach
he
Prime
was
was
number
second,
2.
yeah.
He was number 2, but that just shows you like the star power.
Yeah.
So weird. All
Hall
right.
of Famer.
Steve,
Let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Zach, want to give us the news?
Kareem Jackson is back for his 5th year.
That's it.
Kareem Jackson, it's wild. He signed that 3-year deal in 2019. Then the Broncos cut him before year 3 in order to save money. He comes back once in free agency. He comes back twice in free agency. He comes back now a 3rd time in free agency. 1 year, $2.6 million deal for Kareem Jackson to be back for his 14th year, 15th year in the NFL, but 35 years old. He's coming back again.
It's pretty crazy that he's still doing it and still doing it at a high level. Now, it brings up a very interesting conversation about the safety position, but let's just start with KJ. I'm happy he's back. And it comes down to one word: dog.
That's very true.
He's a dog.
Yeah.
And I said this on Twitter. The Broncos need 20 more KJacks.
Yeah.
They don't have nearly enough guys like that on this squad. And I think that's maybe one of the 5 main keys of roster building. You just need dudes who are different.
Especially on defense.
Yes, angry, out there to assert their dominance. And, you know, we talk about, anytime I bring up that word, you always go back. 2015.
That's exactly where my head went.
Why was that defense dominant? Of course, the talent. Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, you know, and you go through it. But to me, what takes them from talented defense to all-time great defense is the dogs. TJ Ward, Aqib Talib. Honestly, Chris Harris had it in him. Derek Wolfe.
Yeah.
You know, like, you just go down, like, those
Danny
guys
Trevathan.
were mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Legitimately mean dudes.
Darian Stewart wasn't the dog in terms of a vocal perspective, but he wanted to hurt someone on that field.
Yeah, he did.
really did.
And, like, that's problematic in today's day and age, but it's still what it's about on the defensive side of the ball. Like, you have to have guys who put those pads on and are just like, these are weapons. I know people don't like that, but if you look at the best defenses in the league, those are the guys they have.
Especially from a safety position, that's the one position where you want someone that wants to hit super hard and use their body as what you said, Ryan, and especially paired with Justin Simmons. That's one of the things that I think has made Kareem Jackson and Justin Simmons one of the best safety duos the past 4 seasons is Justin Simmons can deliver some hits, but he's not a hard hitter. He's more of that roam the field, and we've really seen his intercept. I mean, he's been leading the league in interceptions the past couple of years, so he does that role perfectly. If you have another Justin Simmons out there, just going to be not as much fear. You bring Kareem Jackson in, he's not afraid to get in the box and be hitting guys way bigger than him and just deliver the boom. And we've seen those plays so many times throughout his career.
Which is crazy because before he got to Denver, he was a cornerback.
Yeah.
I remember having that conversation like the day after he was signed. Is like, what position is he going to play?
Yep, exactly. And just to put in perspective, and we talked about this last week, we're talking about JL Skinner. JL Skinner is 6'4", 209 pounds. Once he's in the NFL for a year, he'll be 6'4", 220, 225. Kareem Jackson, one of the hardest hitting safeties in the NFL, is 5'11", 184. That's what he's listed as. They probably inflate that. He's probably in the 170s, and he's still playing this way.
And if you see the way he's built, it makes a little more sense. Like he is so compact.
Yeah.
And the burst, like when a dude that's like built like a rock has the burst that he has and the willingness to just launch himself.
Yeah.
He packs a punch, literally.
And a huge thing about Kareem is you think he's a hard hitter, he's undersized, and he's 35 years old now. The biggest question mark that pops up, not when talking about Kareem, but when you put those 3 things together, is you say, well, he's not going to be healthy. And that has just not been the case with Kareem Jackson. I believe Kareem has missed 1 or 2 games in his Broncos career due to injury or sitting out, not because of the suspension he had. But that's just incredible, the durability he had. In fact, last year, he played in all 17 games for the Broncos, was the only Bronco to start and finish every single game, and played the most snaps on defense of any Bronco. That's including Justin Simmons, who's like the Iron Man going into last year. That even includes Pat Surtain, who didn't get hurt. Maybe he got hurt in like 1 game, but he didn't miss any games, full games due to that. Kareem Jackson played in over 99.56% of the defensive snaps.
So would you say it was fair that he was upset with you when you asked him that question then?
He proved to be right about that. But does that question need to be asked to him again?
Yes.
I'm not asking it, but I think it's a fair question.
No, it doesn't need to be asked to him, but it does need to be asked to us.
It does need to be asked. And that question, of course, is something that I asked him last year, and he said, what a stupid, that was I don't think he said stupidest, but it was the most stupid question I've ever been asked. And let me ask you guys, because we need to get into it after I tell you about our friends over at FOCO, because this is going to be a long conversation that we're having next. So I got to give a shout out to FOCO. We talk about the pins and aces on our set. Let me tell you about the FOCO on our set. John Elway's head moving a little bit. We've been laughing, shaking a bit. Look at that. The bobblehead from FOCO.
Does he not have a face mask?
No face mask. That was John Elway back in like 1924.
Yeah.
Is that what he did then?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think we just lost the face mask part.
I
It
believe
does
that
look like there
was.
might have been a place for it to attach.
Yeah, there probably
I
was.
believe there was.
And if you buy that from Foco,
Well, no, he has a neck injury. That's why his head is bobbling. They had to screw the face mask off.
wow,
Oh,
that got
no.
dark. They have
Wow.
everything over at Foco, don't they? An injured John Elway, something that thankfully we never got to see, but maybe you can get it over there. They also have these little helmets where if you get injured and you need to wear a helmet, well, that one's probably a little too small. They probably have full helmets over there. And the great thing about Foco, not just Broncos, but Avs, Nuggets, Rockies, current stuff, but also awesome throwback stuff. You can get it all at Foco. Use that promo code DNVR for 10% off. Mother's Day this coming Sunday, Father's Day, and I think 6 weeks from now or something like that. You want to get these, use that code DNVR over at Foco.
I think my mom was supposed to be out of town this weekend.
Supposed to be, and it changed?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah, you better figure
Interesting.
that out.
Well, I know there was at one point definitely no Mother's Day plans.
Oh,
So then I just kind of-
Right.
I was like, all right, well, we'll figure this out when that gets set up.
Right. So you're off the hook?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Some things have changed.
Yeah.
What else?
Colorado Golf.
Yeah.
Oh, let's
So
go.
if you want to become a CGA member, there's a whole bunch of perks. There's actually 75,000 golfers that are a part of the Colorado Golf Association. Everybody gets an official USGA handicap. They get worldwide access to score posting and GPS tracking. And again, there's so many perks, including the members get opportunities to play exclusive courses like the Aspen Glen Club, the Club at Ravenna, the Pinery, a bunch of others. Plus, there's also member content with offers and discounts from national and local companies, including Imperial, Golf Tech, the PGA Tour Superstore. So many reasons to join them. And if you use the code DNVR5, you can get $5 off your membership. So make sure that you head on over to coloradogolf.org, use the code DNVR5, save $5, and get in on all these awesome perks.
So I mentioned how this was the third time since being cut by the Broncos that he has now, Kareem Jackson now re-signed with the team. So last year when he re-signed, I'm like, 34 years old. There's this guy, Caden Sterns, that people are really high on. He just had a really good rookie season in the limited time he played. So I asked Kareem about a year ago, right after he re-signed, I said, we were in a set having a media scrum with him, and I said, Kareem, do you want and expect to be an every down safety for the Broncos? And he blew it off completely. The Broncos then go and tweet his answer out on video. He quote tweets it and says this was the dumbest question I've ever been asked. And of course, they include my question in it, so you can definitely hear who it is.
Nice.
And so just Kareem did prove, I guess, he proved his point last year by playing in 99% of the snaps.
So this brings up a point of contention I have. In my opinion, there's no such thing as a bad question that elicits a good answer.
Oh.
So you got a good answer out of him.
Okay.
To me, that means it was
better.
a good question.
Oh, thank you. He disagreed.
I know you did. But the point of asking questions is to get good answers.
Yeah, it's
so if you got a good answer, that was a good question. It's like the guy who asked Giannis, like, do you view this as a failure? And everyone's like, this is such a dumb question. I'm like, that question just got a response that went viral across the internet for like 2 whole days, inspired a bunch of people.
Still a bad question.
No, it was a good question because it got a good
it's a
answer.
bad question. It was a good answer. It was a bad question.
So
If you know the answer, don't ask the question.
If you get a great answer, it was a good question.
It could be worth it. It's still a bad question.
I actually don't know. I don't know if I would go in that situation knowing what the answer would be.
I don't think
for
so.
Giannis. For the Giannis question.
Well,
I mean-
he already asked him that last year, Eric.
That's true.
There's that also. But I mean, the answer is it's a failure. Like you didn't win a title.
No, though? Didn't he kind of in a roundabout
Exactly.
No,
way
he
say
said no, and he was right.
Exactly.
He was right.
But I don't know. If you don't win a championship, it's a failure. You know.
That's just
As
you,
a one
you
seed.
can't look at things that way, or else you just fail constantly.
That's why it's so fun when you
97%
win.
It's
of
not
the
good
time
for you
would
to
be
think
your
like
odds.
I'm failing every year.
That's why sports aren't good for you.
Wait, so then I have a question because Ryan, I do tend to agree with you on that concept, but I have a question.
I think
what about
this season specifically was a failure because they lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's fair. The guy that asked Jalen Hurts at Media Day and at Radio Row, is this a must-win game, talking about the Super Bowl, was that a stupid question?
Yes, and it got a stupid answer.
So it didn't actually get a good answer.
But if Jalen had decided like, we're gonna survive, like if he had come up with a good answer, all of a sudden it's a good question.
Yes.
So here's where I think this holds up in your answer or your hypothesis about this is that question went viral, not the answer. So he didn't get a good answer from it.
Which
it was
one?
just the question that went viral.
You're talking about is this
Eagles
a must-win game?
Yeah.
Well, that was a deliberately. The person
Stupid
was
question.
trying to ask a dumb
right.
question to go viral.
Right. Exactly. So it was a question, not the answer. But I messed up in that answer to Kareem, and right after I asked, I knew I did. I had 2 words in there that shouldn't have been in there. But otherwise, I stand by my question. It shouldn't have been. I actually still stand by it a little bit. But I said, do you want or expect to be an every down safety? It should have just been, do you expect to be an every down safety? Because I think he was really offended by, do you want to? But the reason I said, do you want to, is Von Miller, when he was with the Broncos, every year he would talk about, there is going to be a point where I'm just a third down pass rusher. And so that's kind of where my head was there.
Yep.
But just being and I don't think there's anything wrong with Von saying at some point in my career, I'm going to be just a third down.
He's looking at the greats.
Yeah.
The Lawrence Taylors at the end of their career.
Yep. And that's how I get sacks at the
Bruce
end of my
Smith, yeah.
career. But Kareem clearly, and it's not right or wrong, does
DeMarcus
not
Ware.
have that mindset of that pass rusher. He doesn't want to just be a first down safety or a third down safety or something. He wants
He
to be
did
in
a year
everything.
ago.
That's true.
Yeah.
So then
Ask again.
I'll let you do that. But do you think he's changed his mindset? Do you think the Broncos are bringing him back to be this 99% of the down safety?
So I don't think they should. And part of this has to do with the fact that I spoke with a source about a month ago at this point who told me this defensive staff loves Caden Sterns. And they think that he has high caliber star potential. Well, Caden Sterns is going into his third year in the league.
Yep.
And this is the year you got to find out.
Yep.
So if you are using Caden Sterns very sparingly again this season, well, now he's in a contract year once he's finally getting some burn, and you're not shout out Vic Fangio, you could get a false positive. And,
Right.
Maybe I'll touch wood for him, but maybe he's hurt. He only gets to play 8 games.
Right.
5 of them are really good. 3 of them are bad. You're like, well, what is this? What do we do with this information? You have to get Caden Sterns on the field this year if you think he's that guy. And apparently, according to the person I talked to, they believe he is. So he's got to get work. And then the other side of this is K-Jack was not good in coverage last year.
He was average.
Yes, he was
all right.
okay, but
he wasn't an issue.
Had some low lights, I thought.
Yeah, no, he definitely wasn't what he was before. But I wouldn't say he was bad in coverage.
Okay, yeah, I would just say that he
think he took
had
a step
some
back.
bad moments in
He did.
coverage.
Yep. But again, that's everybody.
But in the
And
end
before he
zone,
was good,
it hurts
yeah.
a little more.
Definitely. There's just those 2 really notable ones where he just didn't have the speed to catch up. The one in Jacksonville and then the one
One
week
in
after.
London.
Or sorry, in London, yeah. Of course. But yeah.
And then what was the other one?
I was trying to remember this morning. I couldn't remember it, but I think it was that next week.
Titans would have been the next game.
Yeah. But
Yep,
it was the exact same
exactly.
play. It's just that little post that he wasn't able on the break to catch up and close, go into the corner.
Well, and if there's one thing Caden Sterns has over K-Jack,
Yep.
it's definitely speed.
Yep.
And then length.
Right.
And those are 2 things that are really important in
Yep.
coverage.
Yeah.
So I would love. Look, I just went on a whole thing about how much I love having K-Jack on the team.
Yep.
I want him there, and I want him out there a lot. But you have to get Caden in there for both of those reasons. Needs reps, should be better in coverage.
That's up to Caden, though. That's up to him to prove that he's better.
Yes.
Bringing back Kareem shouldn't change any of that. If he's really that good, he's going to be the starter. They're going to go through camp and say, look, this guy's really good. He's our starter. And so I don't think it prohibits it. It makes it less likely he's going to be the starter because there is the chance that Kareem goes and beats him. But if that's the case, well, guess what? The best player is going to play regardless. And if Kareem's the best player, they should put him on the field because they have a chance to go to the playoffs this year. Which would break a long streak. You got to do whatever you can to win. Put the best player out there, and hopefully that's Caden because he's going to be around a lot longer. But
you hope it's Caden. I just wonder if this staff, because what's crazy too is this is a different staff, and Vance Joseph never had Kareem Jackson here. I thought when they signed him, I was like, oh, this was Vance pounding the table. He could still be pounding the table for a guy who he wasn't with, but they never overlapped. The year that Vance Joseph was fired, the next year is when they brought Kareem Jackson in. And so for me, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this was, man, they're doing this again. And what does Caden Sterns think? What's going through Caden Sterns' mind right now? Because remember when there was rumors about CJ coming to the Broncos, and didn't Caden tweet like
the disrespect is real?
The disrespect is real. That was from rumors, and I think he was kind of responding to fans wanting the Broncos to bring in another safety. This is management bringing in another safety, and it's the same guy, but he wasn't under contract. So how is Caden feeling right now?
He has. I mean, the only acceptable response to this is, all right, I got to go beat him.
Yep.
He's 35 years old. I should be better than him in my third year in the NFL. At least in enough ways that I can get on the field. He probably knows that he's not going to hit like K-Jack and, have certain impacts on the game. If I'm Caden, I'm saying, look, this is a blessing that I get another year to learn from him.
Okay.
I am better than him in coverage. It is on me to go out there and prove that every single day and try to improve the part of my game that he is better than me at as much as I possibly can so that at some point they say, this is the better option. K-Jack's contract does not even necessarily guarantee he makes the team.
Exactly.
So it's not as if he just got put in a position where he's like, oh, man, they brought him here to be the starter.
Right.
They brought him here because he's a valuable piece who's going to compete with you and hopefully push you. But like we saw it, Justin Simmons was behind TJ Ward and Darian Stewart before he came in, and he played so well in that training camp that they cut TJ Ward.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is a very important point, that this doesn't mean that Kareem Jackson is going to make the team. But do you think Kareem would have signed back with the Broncos if there wasn't, not a guarantee, but kind of we're going to bring you back on another cheap-ish deal, $2.6 million, and you're going to be given the nod. You're going to be the starter initially, or something like that.
I don't think they would have said that.
Really?
I don't think so either.
I think he came back because he looks around and he's like, okay, so I just have to beat Caden.
Well,
Okay.
and if not, we don't know what the guarantees are.
Right.
But worst case scenario, it's I beat Caden and I go get my $2.5 million, or I don't and I get minimum $500,000. It might be the full thing. Because again, the way the deal works, it's a veteran minimum contract. He's just been in the league so much that escalates up to the point where it's 1.8, 1.9, 2, 2.1, and it goes all the way up there. But against the salary cap, it only counts as that base level veteran minimum. And so if you're the Broncos, how do you not bring him back? That's a starting safety.
Yep.
Arguably, what? Has a case for sixth best starter on your defense, maybe? Probably in that range, in that few spots
half.
right there.
The reason would be Caden Sterns is because you believe that he should be the starter without having any impediments. And I understand.
It's a bad approach.
You just can't have blind faith.
And that's fair. But at some point, if you really believe in a guy, you say you're just going to be the starter. You're not bringing in competition at other positions that you have similar questions to. So I do think that this is a little question mark on Caden, but I don't think it's man, they really hate Caden Sterns. I'm certainly not saying that.
It's an insurance policy. It's, hey, we, if what I heard is true, hey, we really like Caden Sterns.
Yeah.
But he hasn't done enough for us to just say you're the starter.
Yep.
So bring in the guy who started last year, who we know can do. We know exactly who K-Jack is at this stage of his career. We like what that is. Caden, go beat him.
And on top of that, last year, Nathaniel Hackett maybe didn't have not the courage, but didn't have the respectability. That's not the right word either. To come in to Kareem Jackson and say you're not going to play every single snap on defense. Sean Payton's not like that. Sean Payton has that experience and respect behind him, and then also he's not afraid to tell a veteran player, you're not good enough, we're going to play someone else. And he's done that many, many times on offense and defense where he'll play the better player, not necessarily the one that has more experience or the one that's making more money.
Yeah, and that's just what good coaches do. You play the best player regardless of anything else.
Doesn't happen as often as you would think, though.
Because coaches should be. But again, if you're a good coach, that's what you do. But it takes a really good coach to know who's better. Like, to be able to just watch those practices, because you're going to be probably splitting hairs just because those guys are so different when you decide who you want. And if you wind up giving, I don't know, at this point, it's not so bad because you're not, and Kareem's 35. If you give the job to Sterns and Kareem was the better option, you don't lose out on too much. But if Kareem's 31 years old and you say, nope, we're going with Sterns doesn't live up to Jackson. You just kicked him out of the building. He's off doing doing well somewhere else. That's an issue. Right. But I don't know. I mean, it's up to the DBs, coaches, and defensive coordinator to figure out who's better.
And here's the other thing. Even if Caden beats out Kareem Jackson in camp, I don't even think you have the luxury of cutting Kareem, now that I think about it. Caden's, as pointed out in the comments by Jose, Caden has been injured 4 years in a row.
It's true. Yep. And last year was a funky injury that we don't even know the extent to.
Yeah. So you probably have to keep K-Jack around regardless, which is fine. Again, I want him around. Great in the locker room, dog on the field, everything. But the more I thought about the fact that you could cut him, I don't really think you can, unless JL Skinner is dope.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is this to me doesn't impact JL Skinner much at all. When we talked about JL last week before they even signed Kareem Jackson, we were saying he's a special teams guy, and maybe he's pushing Caden Sterns in 2024 for some playing time. It's not going to be this year at safety.
Probably not.
What you do have, though, PJ Locke, when he's been given an opportunity, it's been very brief in actual games. He's been really good in training camp last year. He was fantastic. He was so good in training camp. So you also do have that if you see this offseason like, man, we feel comfortable with PJ Locke being our backup safety with potentially having to start half the games. But you're right, that insurance policy for $2.6 million, it is probably worth it there. And also, Justin Simmons did get hurt for really the first time in his career last year. So if you want some veteran experience back there, Kareem can be that. So we've said how Kareem can be the starter, doesn't have to be the starter. What's it going to be? Who's going to start? How is it going to be split up?
That's tough. Also, real quick, Caden Sterns played 15 games as a rookie. So like he did miss one, but that's what happens.
Yes, for sure.
Or missed two, I guess.
Right.
So that would have been the first year of 17.
Was it the last two, though? Like, was it one of those things where he got hurt at the end of the season? And
I'm not sure.
I can't remember either. K-Jack will be the starter, the first player on the field in week 1. But Caden will play a lot. That's my projection.
I kind of hope that's the way it goes, at least Caden playing a lot. I think Kareem is the starter week 1 or he's not on the team. I think that's how it's going to go. And even if Kareem is on the team and is a starter, I do hope that Caden gets some shine. And as a commenter wanted me to remind everyone, Caden, when he plays, one of the most efficient players on the Broncos defense.
It's going to be tough. I mean, if they cut him, it's for special teams. Just because they need to... Who knows how the rest of that competition shakes out. Like Skinner, I guess, will make the roster. PJ Locke is probably unlikely if they keep Kareem. But if you can justify keeping him as like a fifth safety because of the way everything else shakes out, it could work. If not, and you need to give him a roster spot to play special teams, then maybe Kareem could be gone. That'll be tricky.
Sick on special teams.
Oh man, as a gunner flying down there.
I don't think he's doing it though.
No, probably not.
Zach could ask.
Man,
do you want to expect to play special teams this season?
In case you're not the starter and playing a majority of snaps on defense, special teams.
Since you probably won't be out there on third downs to get your snap count up, do you want to play special teams?
Oh man, yeah. I don't think he would take too kindly
Probably
to
not.
that one.
I think the hot take would be they both start. Because there's a real case you can make that Kareem could. I don't know. If you go to like a heavier nickel defense, him in the slot, or even if you're going up against like 12 personnel, going to your nickel with him playing as your slot corner on a tight end. Like, I think...
So him over K1?
Yeah. Specifically when you want to go heavier. Like, if you're going up against Hunter Renfrow, probably not. Yeah. But I think there's a case to be made that you want him in the box more than K1. Like, in terms of playing the run game, it's Kareem significantly.
I don't know. K1's a really good...
He is.
Just all-around defender.
But imagine if you let Kareem do that job instead. You'd just lose a little bit of the coverage.
Yeah, I don't want to lose coverage from my nickel, though.
Yeah, but like if...
In certain situations.
Again, if they've got a tight end split out there, then you're just fine. You know?
Man, I don't know. I like K1 over Kareem in the slot.
Okay.
Or in nickel.
I mean, in most situations, I agree.
Yeah.
But I maybe I'm thinking of it too, like Madden-esque. But I'm just like, oh, you can get like a fast guy who's a great tackler down there in the box. Like,
yeah.
K1's really good tackler too.
Kareem's still better. I think Kareem is a blitzer, still better.
Man, K1 though is a blitzer. He's like one of the best blitzing slot corners.
He is. Again, like yours taking a safety and putting him in that role. Like he comes with so many more advantages.
But this is literally K1's specialty is that position.
Yeah, and that's why I mean
it's not even like corner.
And that's why Kareem's making more money than him.
I'm envisioning some like very niche situations, but like let's just say you're in nickel and they run like stretch left and K-Jack's out there, like I trust him to make that play more than Quan Williams.
Damn, no, I'd take
K1. Kareem for sure. I mean, that's why Broncos got K1 for like $2.1 million a year or whatever. Because I mean, you can just find people who do that. Yeah, he's same as Kareem.
I'm not trying to take anything away from him.
No,
Kareem is just really, really good in run support.
It's just the coverage is why you'd leave it. But again, if you wind up like they've got a tight end split out wide, having Kareem there to play all that stuff, there's a case to be made for sure. And I do think that sort of role is where we see Kareem go this year. Because in the past, there was a lot of Caden kind of coming in as that sub guy. There's no reason that Sterns shouldn't be deep. Like at this point, Sterns is deep. Kareem is in the box if they're both on the field, which I think will happen fairly often. The question is just when you only have two safeties on the field, and this obviously was your question, which one is it? And I'll go with Caden, but it's like 50-50. I'm only answering because I need to give an answer.
Yeah, I do think it's going to be Kareem. I don't think there were guarantees made, but I think it was kind of like, hey, you're comfortable in Denver. You live here. You still live here. Why don't you come back and you're just going to pretty much slot into what you were last year, and we'll see how things go. No guarantees, but kind of like come back here and you'll get this job.
Yeah, and I actually really like the idea of having three out there in certain situations.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. There's a lot of moving parts that the Broncos are going to have, though.
Well, yeah, and I'm just thinking of like when they brought, if they're as high as I heard they are on Caden, when they brought K-Jack back, if Vance was just like, yeah, I can use all three of those guys.
Sure. Would love to see it. Would love to see them get creative on defense with all of the pieces they have. Some people say, regardless of if it's K1 or Kareem, it's like when you get hit by them, it's like getting hit by a bus. And unfortunately, if you get hit by a bus, you'll probably want to call our friends over at Backus and Shanker. If you need to sue, smash the 2.
Smash the 2.
222 to check out our friends over at Backus and Shanker. And we know them personally, and they know the terrible situations that you're going through. So it's not just you're getting a great lawyer. You're talking with someone that knows what you're going through, and that just makes the process that much easier, feel that much comfortable. Whether it's a car accident, whether it's a bus accident, an auto pedestrian accident, anything like that, make sure to call Backus and Shanker and use the 2s. 222-2222 to set up a free consultation. They've won over $1 billion for their clients, and you don't pay anything until they win your case. So call for a free consultation, and through the way, you're not going to pay anything. So call Backus and Shanker 222-2222. That's it.
That's
all right.
Should we get to some comments?
Let's do it.
I've seen we've got some super chats roll in on this one. First one from Ricker Bohr says, I'm a Broncos fan for 5 years now after I befriended a Colorado exchange student who introduced me to the Broncos. Thoughts on a winning season? Yeah, I'd like one.
That's my thought. I'd really like one. I mean, Vegas has them at 8.5 wins with -110 on either side. So they're saying literally 50-50.
Man, that's crazy. I mean, what a jump that is from 5 wins to they're saying they're going to get 3.5 more wins potentially.
I'm in show me mode.
Very fair. And we'll get the schedule. And Thursday
That'll
night
be
when we
big.
get the schedule, we're gonna have a special schedule release show right around 6 p.m. Denver time, right when the schedule's dropped. And
Double feature on Thursday for
yeah,
us. Morning
it's gonna be
pod
blast.
and a night pod.
I can't wait. We're gonna be going through the schedule, doing a quick win loss.
Oh yeah, gotta.
We'll probably end up with like 13-4 or something.
Some would say it's a fool's errand. We like fool's errands.
We do. What else are we doing on the May 11th?
Nothing.
Bring it on. The crazy thing, though, we've been doing this pod on a daily basis since 2016 or 17?
16.
16. And we've seen one winning season. And they went 9-7 and missed the playoffs.
Yeah, and we weren't doing the pod
Correct.
together
You're right.
then.
So when we've been doing it, we haven't seen a winning season together, and we still have so much fun. And it's been so cool over these past few years to see what the Nuggets pod and the Avs pod look like with not just good teams, but great teams,
yeah.
and just the community that I'm so ready for that. And I think this pod's just ready to take off when that happens.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was looking at just like kind of the exposure that both our Nuggets and Suns reporters are getting during the series. And like, I was just thinking like, I'm probably lucky that I don't cover a team that gets into like a 7-game series with another city because like they would
hate
just
you?
be crushing me. Like their radio stations and stuff would be like, "Do you hear this take from this guy?"
Like after the first 2 games when you're up 2-0 and then you lose the next 2?
Because I won't put anyone specifically on blast, but one of the local radio stations in one of those 2 markets took a clip from one of the podcasts in one of those 2 markets and played it and was just like destroying them.
Yep.
And I was like, this would be happening to me for sure.
Tonight's such a big game.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's crazy.
Speaking of, quick little game time plug. Not bad.
Really?
Not bad to get in.
What are we looking at?
Well, let me double check because I looked last night and I haven't looked yet again this morning.
Holy cow. When you're pulling that up, let's hit this comment from Nathan Goodbreak. Says, huge Broncos fan from KC here. You guys' perception of the fans is perfectly correct. Drink beer, barbecue, and be Republican. Get me
What?
out of here.
What?
He's talking about fans in KC, I think. The Chiefs fans.
Kansas City.
Okay. So you can get into the first level for under $200 a ticket with fees.
Wow.
And you can get into the stadium. Let me see what the cheapest one in for $100.
Wow. Is it because it's Tuesday at 8 p.m.? It's an 8 p.m. game, right?
Potentially, yeah.
That still is shocking
Yeah.
for how important this game is.
I think I'll wait it out because last game I went to, I got tickets for like right around this price, like $196 a pop in the first level. And then my friends hit me up and they're like, "Hey, we're going to the bar. Like, where should we sit?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to the game." And they're like, "Oh shit, okay, well, we're going to the game too." And then I opened up Game Time, and I was like, "Oh, there's some seats right next to me, and they're a little cheaper now than when I bought them." So,
Dang.
Well,
I
I
love
think
it.
part of it's because they're not selling out. The Nuggets are pricing the tickets too high. And so, like, if you go look, I'm not sure if it's still true, but like the cheapest tickets available, like the first 20 will just be like the nosebleeds from the team. And so then, like, it's just a
Wow.
weird process because those will like keep the price high because nobody wants to set them below that. But then people realize, like, oh, if I'm going to sell them, I've got to get it below that number. And so then they fall just at the last minute.
the bar has just changed my perspective on going to games so much.
Yeah.
I can't have bad seats at games anymore.
Wow.
Because
there are
I'm
no
just like,
bad seats.
There are. Like,
Ugh.
I would 100% rather be in here than be in the third level.
Really?
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Because
yeah,
back in the day, I was just like, just get me somewhere where
Right,
it's
right.
electric.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you're
yeah.
just in the stadium.
Right.
But it is electric in here.
If
So
so.
I'm just like, I have to, if I'm going to do it, I got to pony up and get a good seat. So I'm
Right.
like in the action, and I feel like it's a better view at least.
So does it rank like first level at ball and then anything else is here?
Yep.
Yep. I
Wow.
love it.
That's where I'm at.
I love it. I love it. Bronco nuts. Man, I hope we're talking about a win tomorrow. Or else it's going to be scary.
Yeah. We're going to be talking about it tomorrow.
I think the favorite has won every game. Nuggets are favored tonight.
And the home team. Has won every
Yep,
game.
exactly. Bronco Nuts says, is Kareem Hunt going to end up in Denver? Seems like a good fit with the question on return time for Javonte Williams. What would it take? 2 years, $4.5 million to $5 million?
I don't think it'd take that much.
Oh,
I mean, the rumors going around were that the NFL thinks that he's kind of lost his legs. And you go back and watch, and like the speed really wasn't there last year.
what did he average per carry?
You saw it last year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
A decline. Now, done, maybe not, but you did see a decline. I think it was under 4 yards per carry.
3.8.
Okay, I'm good.
Yeah, no.
And,
it would not be that expensive.
Man, this rumor, though, about him joining the Broncos didn't just circulate this past weekend. It's
Yeah.
been out there for 2 months now, before free agency started. It's not many good running backs on the market now. Broncos didn't get one. It does seem like things are going in that direction for Kareem to
I'd
be a
rather just go
Bronco.
with Zeke.
Me too. Going and getting
Not by much, but
a running back, and this applies to Zeke too. After they're washed, it
Yeah.
just makes no
Yeah.
sense.
Those
Yeah.
guys drop off a cliff.
that's
Yeah.
why I just wouldn't touch
But
either.
Kareem is a really good pass catcher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is. He can do it all, and I mean Samaje can do it all. So maybe you just kind of figure out what each of them are best at, or you're not tipping your hand when either of them are on the field. But in terms of the contract, 2 years, $5 million, no, I think you're talking about a 1 year, especially with Javonte. You only want to sign him to a 1 year deal. And earlier in the offseason, right when free agency started, maybe you're saying, well, you're going to have to give him a multi-year
Yep.
deal to get him. 2 months into free agency,
Yeah.
you can get him on a 1 year, $2 million deal. I mean, what was Melvin last year? 1 year, 2.5 mil?
He'd probably cost a little more than Melvin.
1 year,
Because
3 mil?
when did Melvin have the 1,000-yard season?
I think Melvin was about like 800,000 per fumble.
Wow.
Shut up on this trash podcast. Yeah, I mean, it would have been right about that. Yeah.
It would have been.
Didn't even make, so you prorate it too, because he didn't make through the full season.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, we got some questions on the website. Let's hit them. And of course, if you want to leave a question on the website, go to thednvr.com, click on the podcast at the top of the screen, click on Broncos Podcast, and then scroll or hit the top one there, and then scroll to the bottom of that screen, and you're going to be able to leave a podcast there. And let's get into them. Coming in from our friend Nick Scott says, I like the Kareem re-signing. And we're talking about Kareem Jackson,
Yes.
not Kareem Hunt. I like the Kareem Jackson re-signing,
Did
but
he use the correct form of re-signing?
he did actually.
Wow.
Not many people do.
I know.
He's not resigning.
Nope.
No.
He's re-signing. I like the Kareem Jackson re-signing, but I'm ready to see Caden Sterns get the chance to be the starter. That's all. Keep up the good work.
Hell yeah.
I actually got to say, people love Kareem Jackson. Broncos fans, this was kind of the first time where I think not a majority, but a significant amount of fan base was like, oh, well, that's great. He's back, but I really want to see Caden. I
Yeah.
think people are really ready to see Sterns.
People are just ready for change.
It's true. I mean, Kareem, unfortunately, hasn't been part of a winning team, and so that doesn't give him the benefit of the doubt. It's not his fault, obviously.
Totally. You know, if you were part of the Super Bowl team, which only one player on the roster still was, then you just like get it a little. Everyone has a great memory of you. Like everyone remembers Brandon McManus being perfect in the playoffs.
Yep. And he still gets that benefit of the doubt now.
Yep.
He does.
And last comment coming in from our friend, the Count. Remember Will Montgomery? The Count.
Will Montgomery.
No.
Yeah, I got to say, I didn't either.
Wow.
He is 40 years old. He was a 7th-round pick out of Virginia Tech in 2006 by the Carolina Panthers, and he played with the Broncos in 2014. And that was it.
He was a center.
2014.
Yep, he was a center. Let's see what was
So he
notable.
was backing up Manny Ramirez.
Started the last 8 games.
Started
Wow.
the final 8 games center, helping Denver rank 8th in rushing yards in the second half of the season.
Am I the only one who kind of erased the 2014 season from my mind?
100%, because 2012, we know how it ended, but it was also the incredible start, where it
Yep.
was a disappointing start. The Chargers come back, then you went on to win 11 straight games.
Yep.
Then 2013, the best offense we've ever seen in our life. 2014,
2014 was so anticlimactic and just kind of a lame year.
yeah, and
Yep.
it started off. Remember, Peyton was like leading the MVP race again the first half of the season. That's kind of when his decline started,
Got
the
hurt.
second half. And then, of course, the Colts come in here. I was overlooking that game in the playoffs. I think the Broncos coaching staff certainly was. Broncos lose, and then 2015 season. So that is the one that's going to get buried in Peyton's 4 years.
That is
here.
like one of my least favorite playoff games ever.
I don't remember much about it, thankfully.
I was at my ex-girlfriend's house, hungover, just watching it on the couch, and just like so tired and just hurting, and just like watching the Broncos just fall apart right before our eyes. I was just like, this is terrible. I hate everything. right now.
Yeah. And then also at that point, it was like, damn, maybe the Colts did make the right decision on Andrew Luck. Like Peyton couldn't beat Andrew and the Colts, and then we know a couple years later they definitely made the wrong decision.
Yep.
And that was the John Fox planning his way out game.
Yep. And right after that game, Jack Del Rio, John Elway maybe
Kicking
had a
and
little
screaming.
something. Yeah, literally. Yeah.
That was the kicking and screaming game.
Yep. And then John goes out and makes one of the best moves of his tenure that I think kind of flies under the radar, hiring Gary Kubiak.
I legitimately cannot tell you one specific thing that happened in the 2014 season, other than I just remember like retroactively we're like, oh, that's where Peyton got hurt. He was like fumbled a snap or something, and he was like trying to get it back. That's the only, I cannot remember a play.
No, my memory is he was MVP the first half of the season. It's like
Crazy.
22 touchdowns, 1 pick, and then it kind of fell apart. Fell apart to the tune of still making the playoffs, and then the next year winning the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But it did. It was a weird, vibesless season.
Yeah, it really was. Thank goodness for 2015 bringing us back up.
Yeah.
Or else, man, would have all been downhill from then.
That's like a very recurring thought for me, which is just like, thank God they won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, we'd spend our whole lives bemoaning that they didn't get one.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
100%.
Because I mean, one more loss, and I don't think like if they don't have home field advantage, no, they're not doing it. And then obviously you lose a playoff game. No, like any less, and that it just would have ended like that with no wins.
Jamal Charles doesn't fumble it right into Bradley Roby's arms with 13 seconds left.
I also wonder how connected Peyton would still be with this team. I think he would still be connected, but as connected as he is with the team now, doing this trilogy of the schedule release and stuff, I honestly don't think that connection would be as strong, and maybe not even nearly as strong.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's crazy just how it happened.
Yeah, seriously.
And John Elway deserves so much credit for that.
Yep. To build the best offense of all time and then one of the best defenses of all time.
In a 2-year span.
Yep.
He saw that offense get whatever and said, okay, this isn't working. We need to fully pivot to the other way and make the best defense with Peyton Manning, because he'll do his thing on offense. And Aqib Talib, DeMarcus Ware, TJ Ward.
Yep. Let me just go sign a couple Hall of Famers. That's it.
Yes. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. Like,
Totally
he gets
agree.
kind of the credit for just like, oh, he won the Super Bowl, but he signed Peyton Manning. That's not the key. Obviously, it's the key.
Right.
But that's not what won the Super Bowl. What won the Super Bowl was him realizing, okay, I can't just do it with offense.
Yep. Man, that was one of just such the appealing things about, is there any way they can get Peyton Manning in to be the general manager or the president, just because that presence that John brought?
Yep. It's a good place to end.
It really is. We ended on a high note.
We did.
Wow.
We started on just a gut-wrenching note that Henry would do that to this community.
Henry doesn't care
and we
about the
end on
community.
this
It's crazy.
high note.
I had no idea where that was going. I thought you were gonna say like you haven't been active in the Madden chat. It's like, well, I'm on a bye. Like I'm just
Hey, me too.
I haven't
I'm on a
logged
bye.
in. Like
By
It's
the
like
way,
I'm not.
1-0 since yesterday. I said I was terrible at Madden.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
go.
Wow, who'd you beat? Cam.
Hey, I lost the can the
That's
week
right,
before.
that's right.
I beat our guy Brennan, Saints Brennan.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I
let's
love
go.
how it's
He's
Saints
back.
Brennan because that's how his name is written on the.
Beat. Well, just clarifying to
Yeah,
you,
Saints Brennan, yeah.
because you're not as active. He may not remember who Brennan is.
I know Saints Brennan.
You know Saints Brennan. He has Arch Manning though. He has his running
His
back.
roster is sick.
How did his running back fall to the 4th round? Do you know about this guy?
No.
Who is it?
259 pounds with 91 speed.
Oh.
It looks like it's a create your player sort of thing,
Yeah.
where like you have no rules. He's insane.
Wow.
What's his name? Do you know?
No, number 8 with shoulder pads up to his eyes.
Oh, I hate when
Yeah.
people do that. All right, let's wrap up. Let's just pretend we wrapped up talking about the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We appreciate you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you tomorrow.